Hi, welcome back. I'm really excited because I just brought the camera out and pressed record because I want to have a really honest, unfiltered conversation about my experience being queer, but specifically as a masc lesbian and kind of the fears I have long term around that, some of the challenges I still face, some that I faced in the past. I'm gonna talk about dating life, family relationships, being a masc lesbian at your work and your job, my fears around getting older. So if you're a masc lesbian, if your loved one is a masc lesbian, if you just wanna better understand the queer community, you can watch this video. First of all, let's quickly define masc lesbian for idiots. No offense, masc lesbian is you're lesbian, but you're masculine presenting, so you're typically gonna be wearing like more menswear style clothes, like maybe you have a short haircut, like I kinda do. Like sometimes people call me sir by accident, you know, shit like that's gonna happen. How you look on the outside is just one part of it, and maybe there's more personality traits associated with masculinity, like initiation, so you're asking the girl on the date, or maybe you like to drive. Like there's a whole range of societal expectations of what masculinity is, personality traits that align with masculinity, and physical presentation of how I look and act in the world. And some people really identify strongly with all three of those categories and align perfectly with them. And then other people relate to some, but not others. So there's a wide range of experience here. The first thing I wanted to talk about is when you're a masc lesbian, you're visibly queer. Meaning I can look at you and clock you as gay. Look at me right now and tell me if you clock me as gay. I need to like stand up and like sway around with my hands in my pockets. Maybe that will really get it across in your mind, but gay is the situation at hand. Anyone can really clock that. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in queer spaces because if you're interested in dating women and you look straight, that's gonna be a little bit harder than if you look gay. At least they don't have to ask the question, well, is she gay? I don't know. No, you know. And there's a whole lot of subsequent perks that come with that. Maybe it means that instead of you having to approach people, maybe other people approach you more often because they're trying to hit on you because you're obviously gay. And then I feel we're really accepted in the queer community. Like if I'm at a gay club, they're not like, oh, there's a straight girl at the gay club maybe. No, I'm really accepted and part of this community, but being visibly gay is also bad too. Guess what? Every single time I do a job interview, they can probably clock me as a lesbian because I have a boy haircut and I'm dressed in menswear a lot of the times. For the holidays, I'm around family who is like, oh, lesbian. Like I can't code switch anymore. And there was a time in my life where I had like long hair and my style was a little more feminine than it is now, and I felt like I had this ability to code switch, which is really nice. Whereas now I don't have that privilege anymore. And this became even more clear to me when I cut my hair short. I think that really was a turning point in terms of how I was treated, but I also felt more myself, which kind of leads me to my next thing of like, there is a confidence boost that comes with being a masc lesbian. Being unconventional in any way is kind of daring. Like wearing men's clothes, kind of have to be a little bit ballsy. Having a short haircut, you kind of have to be a little bit ballsy. And when you do that stuff, automatically people look at you and they're like, well, okay, defying the gender norms. And I know people think that, and I think that about myself too. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm gonna be me regardless. And it took me a long time to get to that place because I spent like so much time being like, oh my God, I'm trying to be conventionally feminine and I'm trying to make it all look the part and I'm failing. The confidence was so low because I was doing so much faking. Whereas now I feel like I've tapped into such a really true form of authenticity, and without even trying, that kind of translates into confidence, just because at a certain point I'm exhausted of trying to be other people and I just show up as myself because goddamn, I've tried everything else and it doesn't work. So this is what we're left with. And it was really like once I gave up on trying to be exactly right for society, did I actually step into true confidence that came from true authenticity. So it's a blessing in that way, but you have to see through the hard parts of the journey, see the ways you fail, like the ways you don't live up to your parents' expectation of what their daughter is going to be like. All of those things you kind of have to swallow and accept that you can't please everyone. And that's liberating. That gives you confidence, but it's difficult. And a lot of people, as we know, lose family over stuff like this. I'm at this phase in my life now where I'm very much out and have been out for a long time. But when you're in the thick of it, you have no idea how your life is going to pan out, how that weight will ever get off your shoulders, how you will ever come out, how it will ever be normal for you to have a girlfriend. You don't have the vision of, okay, when I'm 25, I'll have my shit together, I can date, and it's going to be fine. You don't have that vision, and it's also not promised for everyone. And then another perk, I think, you boost other people's confidence. I'll explain with an example. When I was picking out where to go to school, I was getting recruited to play college basketball. So I met the teams at different schools, and in the school I ended up going to, there was a masc lesbian. She was everything to me, and everyone treated her with so much kindness and respect and consideration. In fact, she was like a beloved member of the community, and she didn't know that I was a masc lesbian at that time. I hadn't came out yet. And when I think about it, the fact that she was just there, existing, showing me that that space was safe, that boosted my confidence. And when I did come out, I knew I was gonna be safe because of her. When you bring that energy of, I'm gonna be myself, take it or leave it, I feel like other people, when they're around you, they feel more comfortable. They know that you're gonna advocate for them. So I think being safe for other people has been a really big part of my experience as well. I mean, I've had, I don't know how many friends come out to me because they knew I was so out and proud. It's huge, it means a lot. But I will say, a real concern I have is like, I don't really know how this plays out long term in terms of being a masc lesbian when you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. To the day that you RIP, you're gonna be a masc lesbian. Hello? Like, I've never seen a granny that was a masc lesbian. I just don't have a lot of role models for what it's gonna look like. And there's gonna be a lot of queer grannies with me figuring it out, but just like not having that clear future. I mean, I don't know anybody who has lesbian grandparents. You know what I mean? And even in a closer timeline, eventually I wanna have my own family. Family planning as a lesbian is not as traditional and obvious as it is for straight people. You have to think about, how are you gonna conceive? Are you getting a sperm donor? From where? Whom? Like, that's a big choice. Not only is that stuff expensive, but it seems super intimidating. I don't know shit about shit, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to bring a baby from 2 women? Damn, I don't know. To be honest, I don't think about them that much, and I'm avoiding the thought. And it's like, well, all of a sudden I'm gonna be 30 years old ready to start a family, and it's gonna cost $25,000 that I don't have. And I'm low-key over here like, I don't wanna get pregnant. I always assumed I wouldn't be the one who got pregnant because I'm the masc lesbian. But why the hell would I assume that? I'm just as capable as anybody else, supposedly. So there's a lot of gray area around that. It scares me. I also think, especially in my adult life after college, it's kind of harder to make friends, especially with straight girls, right? And then there's always this stereotype, whether it's real or just in my head, I don't know, but of the predatory lesbian. Like, I don't want ever to make people feel uncomfortable, like I'm hitting on them. And I have straight friends from before I came out too, and I know that they do not think that way, but it's a little bit harder to initiate new friendships, especially when they're people who are a lot different than me, like girly girl, feminine girls. Like, damn, we have so much in common, but we also don't. And then it's like, well, I have just as much in common with a guy as I would with a straight girl. And then with having queer friends, which is great, very rewarding, feels great to feel understood without having to explain. At the same time, the stereotype is like there's this element of competition. Like, because the dating pool is so small, you and your friend might have the same exact type. There's 5 girls you can date in the city, and then you date this one, and then they're best friends, and then this one's your ex, and that one's her ex, and then it can get messy fast. And I think there's this bad vibe of competition between other masc lesbians just because there's not that many of them and the dating pool is small, which is weird. Can I advocate for that right now? Stop being rivals with your local masc lesbians. We should all be friends. We have so much in common. This is stupid. So if you're watching this and you live in San Diego, be my friend, leave a comment. Another obvious complaint, is this just like an episode to complain? Clothes. I like wearing men's clothes, but they're made for men's bodies, so sometimes they fall crazy weird on my body. Like the other day, I bought a suit jacket because I'm going to a nice corporate event and I have to wear a suit. It's either that or a dress. And like men's shoulders are a little more broad, so the suit like doesn't quite fit right as it would on a dude body, and I don't even have that big of a, you know what I mean? So it's like, it should fit mostly the same, but you would be surprised how different things are. So it's like nothing was really made for you. Now, I am the queen of finding loopholes around that and finding stuff that does fit from either men's section or women's section. But when you walk into a store, it says men's section, women's section. It's not in between masc lesbian section, you know? And then people sometimes stare at me weird in the men's section, and I'm just like, oh my God, I ain't got time for this today. Like, let me get by my t-shirt and leave. Oh, this is funny. So dating is easier, but it's also more limited. The girls who like you really like you, and the girls who don't like you do not like you. If you find a girl who loves masc lesbians, she loves them. They're like little Pokemons to collect. Whereas if you don't like masc lesbians, then you're like, whoa, no. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't date a masc lesbian, so I'm like, there is no way, my bro, there is no way. Let's just say, for example, these are all the women in the world, 100% of the women. Well, first of all, a lot of these women are straight. So we're left with this much of a sliver. What percentage of queer women like masc lesbians? This is our sliver right here. The rest of the people do not care. Men do not care. They do not see you. Gay men can be mean to me too. Some gay men are just misogynist, but not all. If there's a handsome man watching this right now, and you're like, not me, honey, I love you, king. My point is, we're left with a small sliver of women that likes masc lesbians, and everybody else doesn't care if we live or die, okay? And shout out to the masc lesbian lovers out there. I don't know what we would do without you. Another weird thing, since I end up dating a lot of feminine women, because that's what I like, you have this like masc femme pairing. And if you're not careful, you can get into, drumroll, 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 heterosexual dynamic. Why, yes, because it falls just like into this boy-girl mentality. Like, oh, the boy always drives, the boy always pays, the boy asks the girl out on the date, the boy is pursuing the girl. Those are so antiquated, but some of them can kind of fall naturally into a gay relationship without you mindfully choosing them. I think the perk of being queer is that you can choose what gender norms you like and you can drop the rest. But especially the masc femme pairing, you can easily lose sight of that. You can easily pick up toxic masculinity as well, like this vibe of like, I'm tough, I never cry, fuck bitches, get money, I'm a player, all I do is get money and go to the gym. You can pick up the same sort of dumb shit that men do. And that pisses me off beyond belief, because you do not have to bring that toxic shit over here. Like, you can be empathetic, you can be in touch with your emotions, you can cry. Like, don't bring toxic masculinity bullshit that men have over here. Come on, guys. Damn. And then lastly, the most obvious one, I should have started with this one, is the general rejection from stereotypical society, particularly religious groups. There are people walking the streets, on the sidewalks around you, that genuinely think that being gay is a sin, that you're going to hell, or maybe something else fun like, ooh, gay people are destroying the traditional family in America, or gay people are going to be the reason that people stop having families, and they don't have children, and they're against the fundamental purpose of humanity because they can't conceive. Classic. I'm so bored of it, really. I mean, there's all this political rhetoric, especially with the presidential election of Donald Trump. Oh my God, I'm sick over that, by the way. I really hate how political rhetoric has targeted gay people as kind of like this divisive topic, and it just sucks to be in the middle of it. I mean, it just sucks to be threatened with like maybe gay marriage is going to be taken away, or like that. Really, it's not fun, it's not peaceful. Yeah, I mean, you guys let me know what y'all's primary issues are in the comments, but in general, I love being a woman. I love being a lesbian. I love being a masc lesbian. Like, I think it makes me so cool. It makes me sexy. It makes me unique. It makes me confident. It makes me like oozing with swag, etc. Unique from the rest of all of these basic bitches who never been through anything. Does it suck? Did it have downsides? Was it hard growing up, especially in Birmingham, Alabama, where I'm from, going to churches that told me I was actually going to burn in hell forever, meanwhile I'm a 12-year-old child? Yeah, that shit sucked. But once you get to the other side, kind of lit. And by the other side, I mean the other side of the country. Southern California is where I am recording this from. I'm rambling now, but I say all this to say, if you watch this because you're struggling, it gets better. The older I get, the more in touch with myself I get, the closer I get with queer community, and have my own positive lived experiences too. So I want everyone to know, no matter where you're watching this from in the world, if you're queer, if you're not, whatever reason made you click on this video, I hope that the message that you take away is like, it's gonna be okay. We have shared struggles and we're in this together. If you like this video or this style of video and you've seen some of my other videos, let me know, leave a comment, and otherwise I will see you next week. Thank you for watching.